Well, today on Nation, a window cleaners podcast, we're talking all about planning the year, but making it actually be in your control. Like, how do you plan a year? How do you put it together? How do you actually make it happen instead of just kind of sitting in the boat? So, if you're a window cleaner or in any service industry, and hey, you just want to hang out, stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. What's up? If it's your first time here, Happy New Year, regardless. We've been doing this now. This year marks 9 years of solid doing this show every single week. There's lots of content to go back on. Every show is half hour. It's been every week for 9 years, almost. Go back, watch, listen, or start now. Make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcast. Obviously, it's everywhere. It's anywhere podcasts are, even on YouTube. Spotify is probably my favorite, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Go check it out. If it's not your first time here, what's up? Thanks for coming back. How's it going? Really, thank you guys for everything. Man, it's 2026. It's a new year, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I hope you are too, just about what's coming in. So anyway, let's jump into the show, and we're talking about the new year. We do kind of, in the new year, kind of start talking about what does the year look like, but I have a slight issue with a lot of it. And the real thing is that if you talk to somebody, you go, what are you going to do this year? Oh, we're going to do so much better. We should be 50% growth. Really? 50%? An even percentage number? That's pretty crazy. Down to the penny percentage. Wow, okay. People throw stuff out there all the time. They go, wow, I'm going to be $1 million company. I've never once ever met somebody who did $1 million in a year. Like exactly $1 million. Everybody's like over $1 million, or, you know, just under $1 million, or wherever their number is. No one's at an exact number, which means when you tell me or anybody, you go, yeah, we're going to do $1 million this year, you don't actually know, because no one does that. To the penny, that's crazy, right? So what I'm trying to say is a lot of times we think we know what's going on, and we go, well, the trends have been, or my gut tells me, or whatever. That's our planning. And, you know, that's cool if you're sitting in a boat going down a river. But I personally like to take the paddle. And I'll tell you, with the companies that I've talked to that have actually broken it down, planned things, and audited itself to make sure it's happening, achieved those things. They achieved what they wanted to achieve. It's so crazy where sometimes people, well, I want to do this, and they go, man, we do way better than that. How? Well, I mean, we just like, you don't know what worked. You don't know what you got there. Like, how are you running your business so unintentional? Like, that's the shocking part, right? So anyway, I'm off my high horse on that. I'm not talking directly to you. I'm just saying. I was very, very guilty of that until I started like, okay, what if I actually planned it, broke it down, made it happen? Could I get there? Yeah, heck yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I know the planning stuff's boring and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes we don't want to hear it, but guess what? It is, when I'm recording this, technically like the first full week of 2026. It is the best time for you to plan the entire stinking year. And if you're just like sitting around like, I think we'll do this, just hear me out on this, okay? And I'm going to start off by saying planning. Planning in the world of business is done by the elite businesses. You look at it like a Coca-Cola or something. I'm talking about all these big companies. People are like, well, that's okay. What if you tried to be or emulate their business style to some degree, or check out some things that they do? They have entire departments that their entire job is figuring out fiscal growth or forecasting. What's 2026 going to look like? Well, they don't just go, well, we're going to do $1 million. No. They look at it, plan it, put it all together, and they know as it goes on, an entire department to know if they're on track, off track, what they need to do to get back on track. The downside to people in business that aren't good at business is that they don't think that the planning part or the actual numbers or the truth means anything, right? They go, well, why would I plan for 50% growth when I could do 70% growth? Okay, plan for 70%. Well, that's pretty hard to do, but why do 70 if I can't do 100%? Okay, so I want to tell you that whatever you plan on doing, awesome. By the way, you don't have to even grow. But if you are, fantastic. I love growth because it's interesting to me. But if you're planning it and you go, well, I'm going to do 200% growth. Cool. When you plan this, you will know by day one, week one, month one, if you're even anywhere close. And if you're so far behind because this big giant thing you're going to do $12 million this year when last year you did 50,000, it'll shoot for the stars and if you get to the moon. No. Then you know you're off. Then you know starting day one, you're behind. Why would you run your entire year that way? Because I want you to plan something for this year that is not easily achievable, but achievable with a little bit of a push. And I'll tell you, look at those numbers. It's very easy for a company that did $10,000 to do 100% growth, to do 1,000% growth. Very easy. But it's the percentage once you get done and situated, right? So if you look at things and you go, okay, well, last year I did this and this year I want to do this, and say your number is 20%. Say it's 50%, you really want to go crazy. You know starting day one when you break down this plan we're going to talk about, you know if you're on track. Oh man, this week was slow. Okay, guess what? Now you're behind. You need to now push so much harder to get back to that. And the point with business is that people sometimes they don't care or think they even have the control, but they absolutely do. And this is why when we're talking about advertising and everything else, we go, okay, well, where'd your, well, I think we got this from the what? What do you mean you think? Like, you need to know what your advertising dollars are going to, what makes the most sense. Because if you're going to spend money on the phone book, but yet you're not making the return, take that money and put it into where the return is. Do smaller batches in the other stuff to get the split testing down pat so that it's so big you can push it in. You have to know your numbers. Like, if you are a good business person, a real business person, you need to know everything. And I'll tell you, I have companies that are big. They're really big. They're growing at an insane rate. They are so strong in what they do that didn't look at the numbers. Changing that one thing and all of a sudden, like, looking at the numbers like, whoa, I didn't even know. This is crazy. The numbers are truth. So planning, breaking it down into numbers, as much as it sucks, as much as it's boring, as much as everything else, is absolutely truth. Okay? So let's talk about that. Last year, let's take our numbers, okay? Say we did, for even numbers, you could be above this or below this, but say you did $100,000 last year. Every single month was not $8,500 or whatever the math is, because I'm bad at the maths. 75? Whatever it is. It's not even. January wasn't what March was, what was May was, right? So what you do is you take, okay, we made, and this takes literal weeks in the beginning of the year. I say the busiest or the biggest companies are busiest in winter. And this is why, all this stuff. You take that entire year. Okay, we did $100,000. Now break it down to how much did you do each month? And what is the percentage of your total? Now, the percentage last year in May. So say May was 18% of your year. Doesn't necessarily mean that May this year will be 18% because of weather and everything else, but it gives you the closest prediction to something that hasn't happened. The closest prediction to the future, okay? So you take that, break it all down, so now it equals 100%, but you know where it is, okay? Now, with those percentages, say again May was 18%. Say you did $100,000 this year. Next year, you say you want to do 100% growth, and I'm pulling a calculator out because I'm bad at maths. Say you want to do $200,000 next year, this year, I should say. Awesome. All you have to do is take that $200,000 and do the percentage of each month. Okay, so if May was 18%, you want to do $200,000. You take $200,000 times 18%, and boom, that's not right. I did my math wrong. $200,000 times 18% is $36,000. Okay. Now you know that in May of this year, that has not come up. You don't know if it's sunny or it's good or the economy or blah, 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 all the other things. You know, to get to your $200,000 goal, May of this year, you're going to be doing $36,000. It's pretty good information. Let's break that back down even more. Okay. So in May, now we're looking at the dates of May. Okay. In May itself, we look at how many total days of work there are. Now, this is why I talk about weekends and go, okay, well, weekends themselves don't necessarily count even though you work, because those are extra days. These are things, if you get to the whole month and you're getting close and you're like, dude, we're only at like $7,000 for the month. Work weekends if you have to push it in there. You got to put more money in May to get to those numbers because we're trying to achieve a thing. If I look at a race and I go, well, I got to run 2 miles, I have to run at this pace so I don't burn out before the 2 miles. That's what this whole planning is, right? So in May, there are 21 working days, okay? So 21 working days, and we need to do $36,000. Easy. All you do is divide it by 21. That means that if you're going to do $200,000, right, and May came out to 18%, these are just numbers I'm making up. You got to do $1,714 a day to get that goal. Okay, awesome. Now let's break that down. Can you do by yourself $1,700 in the day? No. Okay, fair. Say you're still doing, $100 an hour, man hour. Okay, that means that for that is 17 man hours. Okay, 17 man hours. 17 man hours at your rate is going to be your total. That means that in May, if you have a crew of 2 producing where they're supposed to be producing, key, they have to work 8.5 hours as a crew to make your goal. 8.5 hours every working day in May to get to that goal. That means that if the first day of May, which is a Friday, they come back and they only made $800, you're already behind. That entire month gets recalculated. Okay, now to make it, we need to do $1,810. You see, when we're planning for a total, people go, I'm going to be $1 million company. Cool, how are you going to do that? I'm just going to work hard. No, like, how are you going to achieve that? How many people do you need? How many trucks are you running? How much work are you getting? What's your advertising bringing? How many new clients do you need? Okay? Breaking these numbers down and just having it all in front of you gives you the absolute most in-depth idea of what you can do, what will happen, and what can't happen. And if you're just a guy on your own, you're not even out of the office yet, and you're like, I'm going to do $200,000 next year. Okay, cool. If 18% of your entire year comes in May, are you able to do $1,700 in a day? Oh, I mean, I'm pretty fast. Well, I've done that before. No. Every single day. Well, if you can't, you're not going to do $200,000. Now, this is why now in January, we can plan the entire year and go, okay, well, in May, I need to have these crews because I have to have 2 guys working 8.5-hour days to get that a dollar amount. Okay, perfect. So what's my average ticket for a job? Okay, whatever the dollar amount. Now I break that down into the monthly and go, okay, in that month, I need to do, say, 50 clients. I need to do 50 customers. Last year, I did 20 customers. I have to do 50. How am I going to get 30 new customers? New customers, because our dentist close is going to have the rest of them still repeat. If you're not doing the dentist close, how in the heck are you going to get there? Right? You don't even know what's coming. If you are doing the dentist close, now I need 30 new customers. How do I get those 30 new customers? What do I have to spend to get those? What avenues am I going to go to? And okay, now we can break that down and go, I need 30 new customers. If I use Facebook, it costs me $50 a cost of acquisition, we'll say, okay? By the way, cost of acquisition we've talked about a bunch of times. We're really getting into real business here. So if this is a bit much, I apologize trying to cram this into like an episode. It's a lot. But if when I go and do a Facebook ad, the money I spend, it costs me $50 to acquire a new customer. Meaning, yeah, I get some calls, blah, 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 my close rate and everything else. That means that every $50 I spend, I get one customer, okay? But I need 30 new customers at $50. Okay, now I know that if I want 30 new customers at a $50 acquisition, I need to spend $1,500 in that advertising to get it. Right? Is that right? I might not be right. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Right? $1,500 in the avenues I know work, which by the way is my split testing. We get better and cheaper. I need to spend $1,500 on my marketing budget in May to get 30 new customers. I need to get those customers done in May. In order to do that, I need a crew of at least 2 to get that done. And that all was done, calculated, and everything in January. You see where these numbers come into play? This planning part where people are like, this is whatever. I don't know what I'm going to... This is why it takes so long, is to put everything together and take all of those numbers, compile it all with math, and the math does not lie. Now, the downside to math, as math does not lie, meaning I know if I'm off or I'm not, we have to go by averages, and a lot of times, right? The average is, say, whatever my dumb number was, 18% of my entire year, 15%, whatever, is done in May. That may not be the case. Maybe I get 20%. That's fantastic. Maybe it's awesome and I can't stop getting work. Awesome. That's going to plan for potential slow times. This is why when we predict a year and I want to do $200,000 and I get done with the entire year and I'm at $221,000, and people go, well, you didn't get your goal. No, I pushed everything that I could in the very beginning to get it, and I just happened to push over that. Because guess what? 2027, now I'm taking $221,000 and doing a percentage on that. It is absolutely okay to push over that percentage, but just to achieve it, that's kind of boring. If you did $190,000 last year and then this year you're like, well, I think maybe I'll do $194,000. Really? You think that's what you could do? If you don't want to change anything, awesome. But that doesn't even cover inflation, right? So when we plan and we break it all down, we take all of the factors, we take the percentages or the averages. And this is where the small flaw ends up coming in. Is that last year our average ticket was XYZ. That does not mean that you're not going to get a school district in May or whatever that brings in $12,000. But what it does mean is that a big ticket like that drops into the other averages, and now I'm able to continue to push with a large or an anomaly to add in. That's how you get to 221,000 if you're trying to get 200,000. But you can't plan for that. And here's the big problem is people get into the thing and they go, well, man, January, February, those months were all behind, but it's going to be a big, no. Stop. You just did the exact same thing you used to do and go, well, I mean, it should be pretty big. No. What are you doing? Are you paddling the boat? That's the big thing. Right? One of those big pieces kind of puzzle, put it kind of all together. That's the big thing, the issue, the whatever. What we're doing is trying to the best of our knowledge to get there. Okay? Let me stop. I'm a little late on the shameless plug, but I got to say it. Just hang on one second. I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. And guess what? It's 2026. I want to put your orders in just like I wanted in 2025. Every one of you. That's literally how I buy my food and gas and everything else is by putting orders in. It costs you nothing extra, but I get paid from WCR, and it's pretty great. So I want to put your order in. Just think of me next time you put an order in. Shoot me a text, 862-312-2026. You'll never miss a sale if you text me during a sale, by the way. Also, if it's the middle of the night on a Saturday, Sunday morning at 2 in the morning, text me. You're not going to wake me up or bother me. I'm just not going to put an order in until Monday because we're closed on Sundays anyway. But let me put your order in. This will be the year that we're going to have a great relationship. Please do that. Also, if you haven't yet, go and get a subscription to the American Window Cleaner magazine. I'm always talking about it, but still, there are 100,000 window cleaners out there that don't have a subscription. So this is the year that you're going to nerd out. This is the year that you're going to make it big, strong, and be like a dominant power. Get the magazine, awcmag.com. Articles, business, pictures. Absorb everything you can in window cleaning. You're listening to a podcast on window cleaning right now, right? Got it. awcmag.com, $69. Go get it. It comes with a sticker sheet, of course, which is great, but the information that's in there is phenomenal. And also, I talked about this last week, but if you are going to start this year off right, get a CRM, a good CRM. Don't go, well, that costs more. Probably. But a CRM is what runs your entire company. I don't recommend, I've never recommended CRMs until the beginning, like spring of last year, because I did a demo of the current Jobber. That's amazing. I've done so many other demos I just wasn't impressed with. If you want a discount for Jobber, obviously that's down below. That's an affiliate link. I get credit for that, I'm pretty sure. So, but it's 20% off for you. So anyway, go do that. Jobber's insanely awesome. Go check that out. Okay, back to it. So when we plan everything, now I can see what my entire year looks like. And I'll tell you, as somebody who has been going through planning with companies, not only my own, but numerous other companies, something is going to pop up. And you're going to look at it and go, oh, in order for me to hit my goal, according to the numbers, I got to do $103,000 in May. I don't know that I can do that. You can. How are you going to get there? Right? There's going to be a surprise. You're going to look at January and go, man, January is supposed to be like $27,000. How do I hit $27,000 in a January? You look at that, you break it down, you find a cost of acquisition, you look into everything else, and you push that. You make that happen. Okay? Now, if somebody's like, well, yeah, but I'm going to do $1 million next year and I just started my company. Okay. Where are you getting a loan for all this money for your advertising? Have you done any split testing on advertising? No. You're probably not going to get there, right? Could you get very big with a $100,000 advertising budget? Sure. But the idea is that when you break it down to those numbers, those percentages, those whatevers, you then see where everything is. And right now, first week of January, it's very hard to be like, dude, I'm going to do $101,000 in May. Ooh, I can't even fathom that. I was sitting on my thumbs. We did like, $800 yesterday. Okay. You can't see that now. That's what these are forecasts and predictions. But we're looking at it as the percentages. Now, the percentages will change in what months? Every year, we recalculate the year before. Okay? So next year, you're going to recalculate, and the percentages may be a little bit different, but that's what we're going to calculate on. It's the closest we can get to actual facts. Okay? But you have to track it. And here's where this whole thing comes in hardcore. Is that, again, I'm not good at the maths. Maybe you are. I'm just making up numbers. But here's the thing. If I have to do $1,000 a day, okay? I do $1,000, or we'll say this. I do $900 yesterday. I do $750 today. I do $1,100 tomorrow. All of those tracking every single day should be recalculated to know, okay, well, my $1,000 on day one went up. So now every day I got to make $1,012, whatever the math is. The next day I really didn't hit it again. So now I got to do $187, $1,087 a day. The next day I beat it, which brings that number back down. Okay? Real tracking is one of the reasons you can't be in the field. And I will die on this mountain forever. If you're out there cleaning windows, you will never be a giant company. If that's not what you want, cool. You are not ever going to be a very strong company. And here's the reason why. And I am not bashing you. You don't have to do any of this stuff, right? You probably have an awesome life and an awesome company and an awesome everything already. But here's the reality. All of this stuff we're talking about has to be done by somebody. And you're not going to work 8 hours a day cleaning windows and then go in the office. It's not at all ever going to happen. So when you're out of the field, this is one of the things you do every single day is you recalculate for the month. And guess what? As the recalculations go, the last day, week, couple days of the month are going to be way different than the first part because you had the whole month to calculate it. They're either going to be up, down, whatever. You're still going to be pushing. But the reason is if you did 750 yesterday and you did 870 the day before, and you're supposed to do $1,000 a day, you don't just go, well, maybe next month will be big. No, you've just ruined the entire thing. You're in control. I said, sit down in the boat. Here's a paddle. You decide where it goes. Okay? So many people fail in all of this, and they're just like, well, yeah, no, we're a little behind. Why? Well, we just didn't do that's because of you. Like, understand that if you're behind a lot by the mid-month, you should be spending your entire 8-hour days getting new people, putting more stuff out there, the content on social media, the talks in groups, the all of the other stuff. You're like, well, I don't have the money. Well, we budget in the advertising budget for what the advertising is for the things. And if your numbers are right and what you did and your split testing is continuing, you're going to get those depending on how much money you put into that. If you're like, I need to do $1 million and you have $7 in your pocket for advertising, guess what? I don't know what you're thinking. That you now need to go get a loan for advertising budget if that's really, really what you're trying to do. But you can't make this plan and then just sit there and go, all right, let's see where, no, we didn't make it. No, we're going to be a little behind this year. You don't sit there. The idea of this is to plan it and then make it happen. And yes, everybody's like, well, that's easy for you to say. How do I just go find a customer? Exactly. That's the hard part, is that when your numbers are off, you have to do everything you know, everything you've learned, everything you've split tested, everything you've done, you need to push it harder. And I know this for a fact, that you may get to the end of the month, the last week, and you're spending hundreds of dollars a day on advertising, changing things and split testing, and now you got 5 different ads running. That is how you hit those goals. You don't just go, well, here's my goal, and all right, let's see if we hit it. That's the exact same thing as not having a goal. You have to track it every single day. Every day equals a week. Every week equals a month. Every month equals a quarter. Every quarter equals the year. You can take a year and break it down to percentages of the month and then how many days are in the month, and then you can figure out how many dollars you need to make. And this is why when you go into everything and we talk about like the float board and whatever else, that's why that all has so much to do with business, is because I got to make that money this day to get this goal. Right? And some people are like, well, why are you so hard on yourself? But if you don't get the goal, you're still doing great. Okay. But if you don't care about where your business is and you're not trying to actually lead the business, then don't make the goals in the first place. Right? This is where the planning part, the everything, the real numbers comes in. So many people are just like, I don't know, it felt pretty good yesterday. They look up their thing and they go, well, yeah, some of these are right. I think we're missing. You have to have real numbers. You have to have that instantly and live to be able to find out what it is for the day and then recalculate it for the week. Recalculate it for the week, recalculates for the month then recalculates for the year. The entire goal still stays the same, but the change happens in the beginning. And this is the hard part when people plan. They just put something together and they go, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make $1 million this year. How? And are you on track? When you're listening to this, the month has already started. The year has already started. Are you on track? Do you not know? That means you don't have a plan. If you don't know already if you're on track or if you're not on track, then you have not done a plan. You have not forecasted things. You have not predicted your business. You are not in control. And not to be soft, but it doesn't matter. If you don't want to grow, cool. If you don't want to be strong, cool. Don't care. You're probably doing awesome what you are. But if you're the type of person who says, this is a business and I want to run it like a business and it's my business and I am a businessman or woman, then you have to plan it. You have to make those plans work. You have to be the one that makes the end happen. And there are growth years. There are tough years. There are easy years. That all happens regardless. But you making it happen is something completely different. I have a friend of mine who has a very amazing company, one of my favorite on the planet. His goal was to do his first $1 million year before he was 21. And a lot of you are like, yeah, good luck. He get it. He hit that goal. He got it. The year he turned 21, he got his first $1 million year. That was not an accident. That was not sitting in a boat going, well, things are going quite well. It was insane amount of work, change, knowledge, testing, advertising, reinvesting to get to that point. This is why when you see these guys that own other type of businesses and you're like, oh, business is hard. A lot of sleepless nights. You're going to be working 12-hour, 15-hour days. I'm still at the office at 10 o'clock. And you go, yeah, you just don't know how to do this. They do. And they're not hitting their projections. They need to hit those. They're working and doing everything they possibly can to get those. The reason is because that company then is moving forward. And here is the most important part of business. Everybody thinks of the now. But what about the 5 years from now? Business is compounding just like anything. That means if you do $100,000 this year, your percentages and change and numbers come off of that $100,000. If you do $200,000 this year instead of $100,000, next year, your company's that much bigger because you're building off of that number. 5 years of doing that, this is these companies that are doing, giant numbers with 10 trucks. You're like, oh, how did you do that? That's how. If you're just sitting in the boat, cool if you're happy with that. If you're not happy with that, take the paddle. Be the reason your company does what it does. And be the person who predicts that. And not only predicts that, makes that happen. Again, a goal is different than a projection or a guess. A dream is a thought, right? A goal is something you could achieve. There's a difference. Anyway, happy 2026. I hope your year is going to go fantastic. I hope the weather gets warm soon because I hate the winter. It's just gross, sticks, and cold. Anyway, I know I'm in North Carolina. I shouldn't complain. I'm from Wisconsin. It was way different. I know. My blood thins out. Anyway, let me put your orders in. I beg of you. If you haven't, or maybe you haven't used me lately, or maybe you just put that one order in on yourself, I wish you wouldn't do that. I wish you would let me know. Texting me and being like, yo, Jersey, it's in my cart is as good, if not better, because I'm going to make sure you get your gift, discounts, anything you possibly need. It's the same, if not better, than you putting the order in yourself. So don't go, I didn't want to miss the sale, so I put the order in Saturday night. Nothing ships till Monday. No sale or discount or anything has ever been lifted before Monday. And even if it was, I can still get you that grace the next day. And if you text me on a Saturday and I don't get to it till Monday because we're closed, obviously. I like to sleep and be with my family. If that is the case, then guess what? Absolutely still going to happen. And it's still going to ship at the exact same time as if you would have placed it Saturday because guess what? We don't ship on Saturday or Sunday. So please let me put your orders in. I beg of you. Shameless plug, I know, but eventually you'll get worn down and you'll call me or text me at 862-312-2026. So yeah. Anyway, start off the year with the American Window Cleaner magazine too, because I own that and I would love you to be part of it. There are so many people who work so incredibly hard. The new design and style of the magazine is mind-blowingly awesome. Even if it wasn't about window cleaning, it's just a very, very good magazine. So go check that out. Do that. I very much appreciate that. And like I said, discount for Jobber. It's always in the show notes, but if you ever need the link for that, people text me every day or two about that. Anyway, and they're like, hey, you got that link? Check it out. Do a demo. Who cares what I say? Right? I always recommend Monk. I recommend, that's Monk SEO. I recommend Jobber. I recommend WCR for supplies. I recommend all of the things that I have found to be the best. But do your own research. Who cares what I say? I'm just a dude who sits in front of a black wall. But anyway, discount down below. I've taken up enough of your time. Enjoy your 2026. Hopefully, you're going to control your 2026. This is going to be the year. I can tell. More importantly, go out there and be epic.